All right, I got cut off from the last video, but we'll pick up where we left off. So this will be a two-parter, okay? So we got part one, talking a lot about leadership and mindset, which I strongly recommend because quite honestly, I believe 80 to 90% of just success in life really is your mindset. So check those out because those are essential to being a good account executive. Not just in cybersecurity, but just kind of walks of life. So we'll go back into the actual account executive part. So where we left off, I talked about focusing on 2 to 3 different key metrics to zone in on, having graphs, doing the 100 call test, and then we talked about kind of the understanding your sales cycle and sales cadence. You need to know everything from the beginning to the end, and the fortune's in the follow-up. You need to have consistent follow-up with your people. Some companies, they close on the first deal, other ones they close on the third or fourth, other ones close on the seventh, right? There's an old saying also, it takes about 7 no's to get to a yes. Interesting, right? Funny how a lot of closing happens on the 7th or 8th call. 7 no's to get to a yes. So when somebody gives you a no, it's not really no, it means maybe no, not right now. I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about sales, by the way, so don't confuse the two. And so make sure that when you get rejected, you don't take it personally, and maybe this person will convert to a customer down the road at the right timing. Maybe there's a better timing in life. Or maybe especially if you're a good salesperson, they might refer you to somebody else. So be aware of these things. And then, let's see. So we talked about that. So fortune's in the follow-up. Make sure you're consistently following up. Usually with a lot of organizations, there's what's called the discovery call and then the demonstration. Okay, and then there's other aspects, like there's a technical one or the closing or things like that. I'll talk about kind of the first two. The discovery call. So a discovery call is usually you jump on the phone 10 to 15 minutes to get an idea of the situation. You want to find out, you want to get to know them, you want to build rapport, you want to find out the challenges that they're having, you want to find out what is the ideal scenario, what they're looking for. What have they been doing to get there? And also you want to create a little bit of emotion. You want to create a little bit of urgency. So, you're finding out the full situation. What have they done? Where are they at? Where do they want to go? Okay. Another way I heard from somebody else is you want to find out what is their heaven, what is the ideal situation, and what is their hell? What is oh no, what's going to happen there? And, usually at the end, you then are there just to book the next meeting. Just the next meeting. Would you be open to seeing something that could potentially help you? If I had something that could potentially help you, would you be interested? So you're basically just setting it up. It's really just understanding it's a mini investment of your time and energy to see if this is a potential qualified client and a great meeting to have, okay? You should not be saying yes to every single person. If you're a startup and you just started and there's no sales, sure, then you say yes to everybody. But if it's a company that you have, you don't want to waste your time. You have to be very investment entrepreneurial mindset on your time. So let's talk about now the demonstration. Demonstration is usually 25 to 30 minutes. It can go longer. Usually you want to block about an hour. Okay, block an hour with them. And then if you end at 40 minutes, they're going to be super thankful because you gave them 20 minutes of extra time. It's way better to block out more time than needs to be and then kind of come in under versus you block out an hour and take 70 minutes. Then they're like, oh my gosh. So be aware of that on timing. And the demonstration call, you should know your product. You should know your industry very well. We talked about having the common objections all listed down. You should also be able to run through your script, your demo, without notes. It's okay when you're starting out with having a bit of a script, a sales script and something, but I would try to recommend getting off the sales script as fast as possible. Same thing as going into theater. Memorize your lines or memorize the story. Okay, practice it. Practice it in the mirror. Practice it on your commute on the way to work. Practice it before you start work. And usually before your demo, you should be practicing like 2 to 3 times a run through, especially the first time. And then before you do an actual demo, do a little bit of a 10-minute mental rehearsal in your mind, or out loud is even better. But the reason is, if you're speaking the script, you're gonna be in your head. You're thinking about the words you have to do. And the reason why you want it memorized is it has to come from the heart. It has to come from the emotion, okay? The emotional transference. So if you're stuck on the script, you're gonna be in your head the whole time. Versus when you have it memorized and it's just like kind of autopilot, the emotion's the thing that comes across. And you want that to come across in sales. So something to consider. So the demonstration, you keep it ideally 25, 30 minutes. If it's going 40 minutes, I would not go past 40 minutes, by the way. Okay? And you want to have them at the end kind of create a commitment. You want them to commit to something. Commit to talking with their bosses, commit to, ideally you're setting up the next meeting. Don't leave the demo without setting up the next meeting. Okay, hey, usually a lot of them are not ready to like do right then and there. If they are, great. You go right to kind of like, they'll sign you up, or let's get you started, or let's get you purchased on our free trial. But if they're not, and they need to like talk to their team, because a lot of the times it's usually a representative of the company just kind of shopping around. It's not usually the CEO or something, the decision maker. So ideally you have the decision maker on the line. That's key. But in bigger companies especially, they're gonna have a representative go and they're shopping around and they're making a spreadsheet of everybody. So in that case, you still want to make sure that they commit to another meeting afterward. The next meeting is always, you're just trying to keep that follow-up constantly extending, okay? So those are some key points. You wanna make sure at the end you have some kind of call to action. You don't just leave it hanging in the air of like, they see the pricing and it's not like, well, what do you think? You don't want that. You need some action step for them to take, and you need to set up some kind of follow-up meeting. Very, 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 very key. In cybersecurity, for example, it's kind of like, hey, I know you guys need to like mull it over a little bit. How about we set up a call same time next week? How does that sound? And we'll reassess. Or another thing is like, hey, I know you want to like, are you like, if I also feel like they're ready to get started, it's like, hey, let's get you signed up. It seems like you guys know enough. Are you ready to get started? Yes, cool. You have to feel it though. There is a bit of a hook point. If you feel they're really disinterested, like, I just want to schedule the next follow-up. I need some more info. If I feel they're more eager, let's get you signed up. So you have to feel out that hook point. Very, very key. Okay? So I hope this helps. I'm getting tons of texts. I know it's Friday. So hope this, more texts. I hope this helps. But I want to leave you guys also. I was listening to a speaker the other day. He listed some interesting facts, and I posted this on the YouTube, but I want to make sure you guys listen to it again. They analyzed hundreds of people, hundreds of professionals and salespeople. It was a mixed bag. It was like half salespeople, half professionals in other areas. Half of them, they go to like motivation seminars, masterminds, industry conferences, things like that. And they analyze all of them, and they analyze their income. This is what they found. People that listen to 1,000 audios, like books on tape, seminars, things like that, if they listen to 1,000 of them, and this is all within a 6 to 7 year window, by the way, 1,000 audios, we're making $250,000 a year. $250,000 a year. And I guess YouTube you can count as well. Those that were able to share the product that they had, meaning they did a presentation or a demonstration or a demo, we're making $500,000 a year, okay? $500,000 a year. Those that were doing like, who went to these industry conferences, seminars as well, that went to at least 20 of them in a 6-year window, were making about $300,000. So if you think about it, if you combine all those aspects, if you're reading books every day, if you're listening to audios every day, if you're going to the functions, or if you're going to major trade shows or seminars or something, and if you also share what you have to offer over 1,000 times, $500,000. So something to consider when you're doing all this, okay? Again, So I talked about this in the other video, but check out Higher Levels. They have an amazing tech sales bootcamp. I am now the career consultant. We do free weekly meetings on usually Tuesdays, but we change it up from time to time, where we go into and we check out everybody's resume, LinkedIn, cover letter, talked about the interview process, what's working, what's not working, and we kind of lead those. So if you use the link below, you get 10% off, and I will gift you a free 60-minute consulting, however way you want to choose it. If you want to talk about sales, we can. If you want to talk about, especially I recommend it if you have an interview coming up and you need somebody to kind of do a mock interview. I have a very good track record of helping people land their jobs and really preparing for the interview. So I would recommend using it that way. So obviously a few of you have actually reached out, even this morning, had people reaching out about a kind of like cyber sales mentorship program. And yeah, we're gonna start developing it. If you want details and it's actually ready to go, feel free to message me. Go to resume2offer.com, my website, and send me an email, and I'll send you the specifics and how we're gonna do it, pricing, everything like that. So feel free to reach out through that if you're interested in the mentorship program yourself, okay? All right, guys, hope everyone has a happy Friday. I know that went 2 videos there, got cut off. So if you haven't checked out part 1, check out part 1 too, because that's a lot of very essential things too. All right, take care and have a good one. Cheers.